Tonight is the regular scheduled meeting for July 16th, 2019. Chris, would you like to call roll, please?
County Judge Executive Robbie Williams.
Present.
County Attorney Keith Bartley.
Here.
County Treasurer David Lane.
Here.
Magistrate for District Number 1, Mark Crider.
Here.
Magistrate for District Number 2, George Usley.
Yep.
Magistrate for District Number 3, Mike Tackett.
Here.
Magistrate for District Number 4, Ronnie Agers.
Here.
All present, Judge.
Thank you. Chris, would you like to lead us in prayer, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you have given us, Lord, and we know that life is just a gift from you, and we want to thank you for that we have another day to live this day. And Lord, we come here tonight thankful that we have the opportunity to serve the citizens of this county. We ask you to be with the judge and the magistrates and help them to make the right choices that's best for all of our citizens. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looks like we have a good crowd here tonight. I want to thank our local officials, Senator Turner, Representative Ashley Lafferty for coming out. Also would like to thank Greg Tomlin, he's the Director of Rural Roads, for being with us. Mary, Mr. Moore, also with the is it District 12 in Pikeville, for coming out. We certainly appreciate y'all taking time out of your schedule to visit with us, and we will be hearing from Greg Tomlin here in just a bit. I guess first off, we need to get approval on the minutes. All right. Treasurer's report. David, anything to report?
No, they've got the report, Judge, on June.
All right.
Unless you have any questions.
Anyone have any questions? All right. Let's see. What about the 911 report? Anything to report?
Not particular.
Nothing. Okay. Bear, anything on the jail report?
No, I don't have much going on, Judge. We've got about 170 in-house right now. We did get the jail van. As of right now on the road, we've had a lot of problems out of it in the last couple of weeks. I think we broke down about 3 or 4 times. But we've got it ready and no problem. We got started there for you all. It's ready to go.
Okay, so the van, we're hoping to get back on track with our program next week, and
Yeah, fine.
okay, all right. Thank you, appreciate it, Bear. Mr. Tomlin, you like to speak?
Skip over solid waste. Solid waste.
No, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to solid waste report. It takes 5 minutes for Joe, so we'll go ahead and let you speak first. We certainly appreciate you coming and keeping us abreast of what's going on.
Judge, Fiscal Court, I want to thank you for letting me join you this evening. And we'll take some questions later on, but Mary Westfall, she's my safety net. She'll be able to answer some questions if I'm not able to. I want to just say that last year when Governor Bevin appointed me as Commissioner of Rural Municipal Aid, he made 2 things very clear to me. One was I was to travel the Commonwealth and talk to local officials and rural communities, talk about infrastructure needs. And 2, I was never to play politics. And if it's about politics, I wouldn't be here today. And he has told a story back in 2015. He's in eastern Kentucky, and he's driving down the highway, and he sees some orange barrels up ahead, and he slows down and looks over inside, and there's a couple orange barrels inside this hole. And he asked some of the locals, why is there a big hole in the highway? And the response he got was, well, our county's not the right political persuasion. Well, that's nonsense, and it doesn't matter what letter is beside your name or your county. Blacktop is black. It's not red, it's not blue. We don't have Democratic or Republican roads, we have Kentucky roads for Kentucky people. And as I've traveled 1,000 miles across the Commonwealth, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people, have a lot of conversations, and one conversation sticks out in my mind more than any of them. I was out in western Kentucky in the middle of a soybean field with about 30 or 40 farmers, and a bridge had collapsed in a creek about 6 or 7 years prior, and it was causing a significant detour for these farmers. Well, at the end of this meeting, a reporter asked me, said, well, Commissioner, is that bridge really that important? Are those farmers really that important? I mean, think about that. Are those farmers really that important? Well, being a country boy myself, I was kind of taken back by that kind of smugness. I called the guy a cosmopolitan. I don't know if I was allowed to say that or not. But I said, well, it's not the Louisville Bridge, but it's their Louisville Bridge. And it's important to them, it's important to me, and it's certainly important to Governor Bevan. And at the end of the day, you know, there are people out there that think because we're country folks and we live in a rural area, that they're better than us. I mean, that's just a fact. There's some people that believe that. And all I have to say about that is shame on them. Shame on them. And so I'm here tonight to get feedback from you, from any members of the audience about infrastructure needs in this county that we might be able to work together to address, to maybe see if we can assist, see what funding opportunities are available, to see if we can help you out with that. Because we're all Kentuckians, and our families and friends travel these roads, and who knows better than you what you need, because you cross these bridges and travel these roads every day. So we want your feedback, we want to work with you, and see what we might be able to do to help Floyd County out.
Well, thank you. I certainly appreciate you coming out, and I think the members of the Fiscal Court do as well. First conversation I had with you, that's something that we discussed. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It's doing the right thing for the people of the Commonwealth, and I appreciate you coming out. And like I said, we was really hoping you'd bring one of those big Price is Right checks with you, but we do appreciate what you do for us, and I do think that you will take into consideration the concerns that we've expressed, and you know, we do have needs with our roads, some safety needs that need to be addressed, and anything that you can do, we certainly will appreciate it.
Well, I know, Judge, at the end of the day, you know, counties have limited funding. We have limited funding at the state level, and I think that the idea is for us to maximize the funds that we do have, make the most of it, and address some of the worst condition needs. So I'll be going back to Frankfurt, looking at those submissions, and see what we'll be able to do. I'll definitely be in touch in the very near future, and see what opportunities are there.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be with
Hey,
us.
I've got a couple.
Oh, okay, yeah, the magistrates, questions?
Number one, it goes right through my district. Can you give us an update on 680? Anybody?
Okay, 680 is currently in our 6-year plan, which, you know, that's what our road plan is based on. It's in what we call it's not in our biennial, which is the first 2 years of the 6 years plan. So we're currently working on our new 2020 6-year plan, and it should be in the 2020. It's scheduled for 2021, but that money comes available next year. So we're hoping, you know, I can't promise, but we're hoping that it will be moved forward, that we can start something next year.
Okay.
Well, I want to talk about the 6-year plan too, because it's kind of a running joke. And, you know, projects got on a 6-year plan, and 40 years later, it's never done. Well, 3 years ago, our 6-year road plan was, what was it, 200%? 200% over program. So there were a lot of promises made to put on a 6-year road plan, and there was never the money to do it. So we revised that, and we're going forward with that. So the same way with our bridges have been neglected for decades. And we have the Bridge in Kentucky program. And how many bridges are in?
We have 1,000 bridges in the original Bridge in Kentucky plan, and in Floyd County, there were 14 total out of 1,000 that we were going to address in Bridge in Kentucky.
Yeah, that was an initiative by Governor Bevan to address the 1,000 worst bridges across the Commonwealth. And because of the bridging estimates, the bids, I guess, had come in under our estimates, we're able to add on an additional 200 and some other bridges on that. So that's something, and that's, I think over 400 were funded this biennium. So that's something to look forward to as well. So 14 bridges for the county, that's a big chunk. That's a big chunk.
I got a couple others. There at the red light at Harold, I've talked to Matt about it, I don't know, a couple months ago, but going south, when you come out off of 979 going toward Putnam, is there anything that we can do to, there's 2 or 3 big potholes right there that's, you just can't miss now.
We're going to put a grader patch over it around here shortly.
Okay.
But the permanent fix will come next year. That section of 23 from the county line down to Mount Ivy Creek is came up for resurfacing. We're going to add in from 23 over the bridge to Mount Mud Creek.
Yeah.
And we're going to go down, take the base out, and put some more layers of base in, try to stiffen that up some. That'll be next summer if that gets done. But in the meantime, we're going to
Try to patch it.
Band-aid over, so to speak, to get by.
I'm just getting some calls. And then what about, is there any plans for Brandon's Creek? I've been getting calls out there about some breaks. There's 6 or 7 breaks up there that, it's really bad, really bad.
We have,
And school's getting ready to start back here in a couple of weeks, and I'm just wondering.
we've had 2 disasters. We had a disaster in 18, we had a disaster in 19. And as you guys know, it takes a little while sometimes to get things on board and get the money appropriated. And the 2018 disaster, those are under contract. NATCO, Betsy Langdon,
Yeah.
got a contract for it. It's got a, I think it's got a September completion date on it. But it could be sites that are affected by utilities and they push that completion date back.
Okay.
Now, there are some 19 sites on Reynolds Creek also, and FEMA's scheduled to be in next Friday. to look at
Well,
Reynolds Creek.
okay, we're good, good. That's all I have.
And Matt, also, could you get with Dale? They were saying there's some scheduled road closures in the Browns Creek area. We've got it looks like a project in Tinker Fork that may turn into an emergency fairly quick for us. And we're concerned about you all shutting the roads down on the Brandon Creek side until we get this completed. The residents could be stuck and not have a road out. So that we're going to try to put out a bid tonight, get some bids in here in the next few days, and hopefully we can get that addressed in the Tinker Fork area. But if you all could kind of coordinate if there's going to be road closures up there, that we do at least have one access to get out.
Sure, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, Judge. What this is part of the rural secondary program we presented back in February. There's 2 large drainage structures, one right below the Old Baptist Church, and one to the west above it. And they're going to bid this month, at the end of July. So it'll be August getting a work order. It'll probably be sometime this fall for our contractor starts work. But we can work around that if you guys happen to be working on
Okay.
it.
Yeah, well, I just thought it'd be nice for us to coordinate it that way, help the folks out up there. Mary, also, you was talking about the 680 project. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it a possibility that this may be let out for bid next year?
That's what it's what we call, it's under 2021 money. It comes available July 1st of next year.
Okay.
So that's what we as a district are asking, that we go ahead and let that, just depend on the budget that we have.
Okay. Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Also, I don't know if you have information on this. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Up to Ronnie's district, we're Harold. When school comes, where school's going in. Now they're gonna have all this traffic coming off the 80, down 24, down Woodford. Why didn't they put X-rays across the end of the head of Pike County, above Pikeville? And then people coming out of Mud Creek.
Sir, he's with the state. He doesn't deal with anything on the local level. Matt may be able to. Yeah. Matt may be the person that you'd want to ask that question to later. Matt, if you want to come up, that'd be fine.
Okay. Coming out of her, at the bottom of it, one of those spikes. And they're wound up, Ronnie knows it, 2 or 3 miles back to get out of her. Okay, if they get that road really complete, going across from me, they got part of it done, and part of it they ain't. Why didn't they go
Matt, look, I appreciate the question. Let's move on. We need to conduct the county's business. But if you want to get up and ask a question when we have a public comment, you're more than welcome to. But let's try to keep the meeting moving. We have a lot we need to discuss tonight. No, I appreciate the questions.
Take it up. Ronnie knows the problem. It's a headache for him.
It's a concern. I agree.
Can't get out, can't get nothing up.
Yeah, I agree. It is a concern. It's something we do need to look into, but appreciate it.
Which another bridge gonna cost half this?
Hey Murray, how hard would it be to get a, red light put up at the foot of Mitchell Lane High School Hill on 23?
I don't live there. But I've been up there.
Of course, we have to go by our federal regulations, and we have been asked that question on several occasions, and we have done several traffic studies, and it does not meet what we call norms. And also, you never want to put a red light in the middle of the curb.
No.
No matter how many warning lights you put up, they're gonna run that light. And so,
true.
I don't see that happening.
A lot of people get killed there. I don't like red light.
Where are we at on the 80/20 bridge program? Is you familiar with that, Gray? Is that something that falls under?
Yes.
Are we submitted a couple bridges a few months ago? Is funding still on track, or is there a hold on
As far as I
that?
know, those have been approved. Our executive director's on vacation.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think it's just a process
Okay.
right now, but he'll be back Monday.
Okay, I didn't know if, I know we submitted a couple bridges a few months back. Is that right, Dale?
Yeah, there was probably 6 or 8.
Okay, and just wanted to, I didn't know if the funding was still in place for those, if they're coming up short on funding or something of that nature.
It's in place.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you all coming out.
Well, I appreciate your hospitality and look forward to working with you in the very near future.
Thank you,
Good luck.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, let's go back, Joe, be short, let's go, you got 30 seconds. Give us a solid waste report.
30 seconds.
I know you do it a lot in the county, and it's hard to sum it up in 30 seconds. But
All right, the main thing is, when we spoke last month about the garbage pickup, seems to have improved. They have took care of a lot of the issues, and still got a little bit of work on a few, but those problems that they go correct pretty quick. So the meeting we had with them so far in this last month, since we talked to them, is we haven't had that kind of problem, call-ins and that kind of thing. So evidently it's moving on just the way we like.
how are we doing on the collections, on the delinquent bills that we have, Joe? I know that that's something we were putting a focus on.
Well, now, I did have it on here. I've been able to get 15 customers to start back paying their bill, and also paying extra to pay down their bills. And with these people, just these people now this is just very, very small touch of the iceberg. This will be $10,000 we're getting recouping back from these 15 people.
Good.
There's been 50 more households I found that are not on, nobody what can live in them, or non-livable, or not living in them. So those that's been getting billed nasty, there's nobody living there, so those will have to come off.
Sure.
So that's where we're at on the solid waste. Looks like maybe we'll recoup. It don't sound like a lot. $10,000 is $10,000 we can use for something.
Well, we appreciate it. Appreciate your hard work. Keep it up.
Joe, me and you talked before the meeting. Can you tell the court and the paper and the people about the garbage you picked up there from the fire department down to the mouth of Brown Creek? How many bags?
Yeah, this is interesting. We, of course, I have guys go out and pick up litter on the side of the road. We was coming down 979, Kentucky Route 979, Mud Creek area. From Mud Creek Fire Station, or John M. Stumbo School, just down around the curve to the mouth of Grams Creek, we picked up 130 bags of garbage.
That's about a 2.5 mile stretch of road.
130 bags. It's crazy. This last month we picked up 10 tons of garbage in the last month. But yeah, that was shocking me.
Just think what would be if we wasn't picking it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad.
I certainly wish folks would take a little, take a little more pride in their community. It's not just a matter of keeping your place clean. We need, it is, but we need to keep our community clean. If we're going to try to attract new businesses in here, improve the quality of life for folks locally. I mean, we don't need to live like this. So I know we need to try to start some programs in the schools to create some awareness, and it's just a generational thing. I mean, it's gone on here for years, and it just doesn't seem like we can break the cycle. They ride down the road and they throw their McDonald's bags and cups out the window, and it's acceptable. But no, it's not. We hopefully when they see Joe out here and his folks trying to clean up, and may try to do a little better. But Joe, thanks. We appreciate what you do, you and you guys. Let's see. Next we have citizens' comments. Who do we have signed up? That's limited to 2 minutes. Well, come on. Who needs to speak? Come on up and give us your name, and we'll listen to you. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
School drive, and it's where we end up getting the child's first day school outfit, shoes, socks, underwear, backpack, all the school supplies. It ends up being about $100 per kid, give or take. We're still looking for sponsors. We're still taking applications, and I'm already at 87, and I have my inbox over there on Messenger is full with probably about 20 or 30 more. We are at about 70 sponsors, but the need, last year we did 125 kids, but this year we haven't had the sponsors, so I don't want to overwhelm us, because whoever doesn't get sponsors, we step in and end up having, to cover the tab. So we're trying to stop it, but we would love anyone that wants a sponsor, you can message me through Jungle Gyms. That's where we're kind of putting everything is through me, because I'm the one that has all the kids. Robbie, him and his wife's been sponsoring kids for last year and this year.
Yes.
And it's just a little something. You don't even have to do the shopping either. If you just want to send the money, we'll tell you, tell you what age the child is and what we'll get, and we'll even send you the receipt if you want the receipt. But yeah, we're just kind of doing that, and we're just.
It's great. I mean, to see the smile on these kids' faces. A lot of them, buy them a pair of shorts and tennis shoes, first day of school, and some books, and you'd be surprised at how many of these kids really appreciate it.
It's just the little small things that, that matters. I mean, one little girl got a sharpener that was actually battery powered last year, and she thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And, it's just small things like that. So yeah, if you would like to sponsor, just kind of get in touch with me. We got tons of kids that are needed. And the sad thing is most of them, I've had 5 high school kids contact me themselves, not their parents, not guardians, themselves, saying, hey, I need help and my siblings need help. And that's kind of the sad part about it too. And I definitely try to get them first. But there's a lot of kids out there that just need just a little help, And it's the kids, you can't judge kids by their parents or their guardians. You gotta
No,
worry
that's
about
right.
the kids. So, and we also mark out all the tags on everything, so when we do buy things or when they're brought in, we mark out tags or not.
Yeah.
So that's about it on that. And then I just kind of was wondering about the community center and.
It's moving forward. We're working on it every day.
Yeah.
We are going to put out a proposal tonight to accept bids for a floor. That's one of the things we will be voting on. 4 to 6 weeks, we'll have a finished product and people have something that they feel proud about. A community center, their kids can go to them. We're not having to drive our kids to Knott County to play basketball 3 nights a week. All right? All right, thank you. Okay, anyone else have any comments? Senator Turner, you have any comments, anything you'd like to?
No, not really. I appreciate the invite to come down to visit. Just appreciate what you all do.
Thank you. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but if you're here, you may have something you want to speak about. Ashley, anything that you'd like to?
Judge, I just also want to say thank you for inviting me. Of course, you all know I've been very focused on some of our roadways during our last legislative session and now, and I appreciate you letting me know that the Department of Transportation is going to be here so I can hear the comments made, especially about our roadway 680. Thank you.
Okay, thank both of you for what you do for us. Thank you.
We did good picking Ashley to represent Floyd County.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Nothing. All right, we're going to move on. Nothing for executive session. Any old business we need to discuss? Come on. Well, come on up, you. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons we're trying to do the cleanup, so we can help in the communities. As far as putting the dumpsters out, that never works out well for us. And the reason being is folks take advantage of it. If it was just the locals in the neighborhood, we had to go have them go pick a dumpster up not long ago that someone had slaughtered their hogs and decided they was going to put it in the dumpster. And that's things we get, and a lot of it comes from these neighboring counties. So we've tried, and we know we have to get creative. And you're right, it's a hurdle for folks to have to pay a monthly garbage bill and then turn around to have to get additional trash hauled off to the landfill as well. So that's the reason we do the free dumping when we do the countywide cleanup. We give the folks the option, and Joe and I had even discussed we may do something on a limited basis, even here towards the end of fall this year, to try to keep the momentum going on the countywide cleanup. That
As long as you pay as long as you pay a Floyd County garbage bill, why shouldn't you be allowed to dump automatically?
well, we contract with a company. We don't have a landfill there. That trash has to be hauled out. So, and you know, our trash bill is $16 a month. If you look at a lot of the places around us are mid-20s, 30s. We're trying to keep the bills down, but that's one of the reasons when we do the cleanups that we try to.
How long is the water supposed to go down there for the rain to go like it?
I'm not sure on what I know PSC had a hearing today. Southern Water was down there again today. I haven't heard any specifics on what they were doing, but they had the board.
I know there's people who got the same bill and everything, and it's not right. I mean, me by myself has to pay the county garbage bill, paying my bill, say $75 a month, where other people don't pay nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they get their garbage picked up the same as I do and everything, whatever, and whatnot, but they still don't pay bills though, but I do myself. And here I am, one person in the household, and I pay all my bills, whatever. Here over here, there's 4 people in the household, and they can't even pay a garbage bill or pay a water bill. You know, that's just not right. I gotta see that, you know. If I can do it on my own, other people should be made to do it too, the same way. I mean, we all, you know, when I was growing up, I was taught, you know, every time I was 14, I had to work.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to school because I had to work. I had to support myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the issue about what's going on in Floyd County and around there, where these kids around here are not being taught to be responsible for themselves and for what their adult life need to do for later on down the road. All they want to do is sit and play on video games. There ain't no basketball out there. There ain't no sports out for them, whatever. There's nothing for them to do.
Yeah. Do you have a question that you want to ask us specifically? We've got a lot to discuss tonight.
You know, is why we don't have nothing going on up in Carroll area and places up there. I mean, they got the basketball, baseball and stuff like that there. But why shouldn't there be some like youth groups for younger kids and stuff? Get them started out in elementary where they can progress on as they go up in the high.
I agree, and that was actually a discussion that I had. David and I had this discussion today. I think that's one of the reasons that I feel it's important for us to get involved in the communities, because what's happened is with the school consolidations that's happened over the last 20, 30 years, the schools was the center of these communities. That's where a lot of the activities took place in the gyms, on the school grounds. We don't have access to those facilities any longer. That's why these communities are falling apart. There's no unity, there's no sense of community. And that goes back to what you said. These kids, you know, they're just pointed in the wrong direction. So that's something we are working on. I can assure you is we're trying to get involved in the communities, and it's not all about fixing roads. You know, there's a lot we can do in these communities to help out.
What's your name?
But I appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you.
Well, that's one of my main concerns too, about the roads too.
Sure. We're prioritizing working on the roads every day.
The buses do have to run up there, where they do have to run and everything. I mean, that's a major issue. There's a big bus has to run over that road and everything. There's probably anywhere from 20 to 30 some kids on that bus or whatever. And they ain't climbed up there after the second mile or whatever. They have to go up in here narrow country road or whatever, and they're looking over a hill 30, 40, 50 feet down over the hill and stuff. There's nothing there to keep them sliding over. If it was snow or icy or
That's something that we addressed with the gentleman that was just in here trying to get some additional funding, get the roads fixed. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you coming out.
I just want to say one thing.
What's your name, sir?
Along with Bill.
What was your name, sir?
Bill Stewart.
Bill.
Stewart.
Thank you for coming out, Mr. Stewart.
We were trying, Floyd County was trying to get in the recycling business at one time. Okay, why don't we fellas get together? And the government probably loans some money to do it. And get your distribution center down here where they had, gonna build a school.
Mhm.
And let these prisoners we got that can be trusted. I mean, they're subject to trust, and I know that. But to haul all it, you know, put a restoration, recycling center down low, recycle everything, and we put the bottles and the plastic and the nails and tars and stuff, and haul them down to there. You know, we pick them up in dumpsters, and you know, one idea, but you know,
Sure.
everything don't work out that way.
Yeah. It'd be great. It'd be
At one time,
absolutely it'd be great.
We did have the idea that we were gonna recycle Floyd County,
Mhm.
but, you know, things stopped working away.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, I was coming from all the trash he was talking about in the river.
Sure.
But if they got a recycling place, take this stuff, or take it to the dumpster and put it in and just recycle it.
That's certainly something we can look at as we move along. Just give us it's an excellent suggestion. You know, anything we can do to
I
clean.
talked to a fella a long time ago about that, and he said, well, we could get the money, but I don't.
Does Prestonsburg still do the recycling? Do they? I know a lot of these communities.
They got their own trucks, makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. That's an excellent recommendation. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We own the property down the road here. Somebody does.
Somebody.
Where they want to build a school.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We got to discuss our business here. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Come on up. This last one. We got to move on.
Yeah, I'm wondering about when you're gonna, pay that down.
Where it's in the plan, and it will be blacktopped. Hopefully, Dale. What are we?
As soon as we hear back from the discretionary money,
Okay.
it's on that discretionary money.
Okay.
We put 100 ton up there last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's got it.
Pothole.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. It's got it good shape where the, repay. I mean, put a good cover. You know what I'm saying? Got the holes filled in and, got it to where you put how many inches you put down, 5 inches? Or ever how many, 6 or whatever. But right now it's time.
One of the big problems we've got up in Tover is the lines. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ronnie. They run right in the middle of the road.
Oh, yeah.
Every time a water line breaks, they have to dig the road up to fix the line, and that's the problems we're having. We put it down, and they have a water line break, and it's destroyed again.
What you ought to do is get on the water company down there, have them to move their line, and that way we'll be in the, road.
Yeah. I'd love to see them do it. I just don't know. Right now, they have the funds to go.
I'm really thinking about it is paying to you. I've farmed up here that fourth girl, and I dropped about see, 6, 7. I dropped around say about close to $8,000 up there, and I'd like to see us get a good road up there too. I mean, now a lot of people say, well, it's a lot of money, say it there. But the thing about it is, I got in there in the winter time.
So what are you farming up in there?
Well, it's our
Corn.
farm. It's our farm, and I wanted to get a road to it, and the property I got it off, I had to go ahead and build a road right then. It's either build a road right then pretty well, or not yet. I started right in the middle of winter time, and here gravel, just going right on down. And boy, I had a time where I spent around, about, I think a little over $8,000. And I'd love to get a road up there. And I'll get, thing about it is, Vince needs a little money or help to have it, I'll throw you in a few thousand.
There you go.
I mean,
We might hold you to that.
but yeah, I'm hurt.
I'm-
What's
I'm-
your name again? Matt McKinney.
What's your mailing address, Matt? I need to know where to send the invoice to.
Oh, I'll tell you that later.
Look, I'll be happy with some corn off your farm up there, okay? Thank you. Appreciate you coming out. We're going to get that road. We're going to get the road straightened out up there. We're on it. Thank you.
And don't cut that ditch. And if you can, help the poor people in there about their water bill. I never hear it tell anybody. I'm on a drill well myself. But if I want, boy, people be a kitchen heck of it. But I'm on a drill well. But these poor people jumping their bill up to $74. This one guy told me they jumped his, I don't remember, what it's 80. He said they jumped it, I think $40-something, up to $84. This guy, I bet my nephew here, yours about what? 75, 70 what? 75. And he lives on a small income. That's bitter.
Look, I sympathize with the folks on the fixed income that are having to pay these water bills. I've had folks call my office in tears because they're on a fixed income and they don't know how they're going to pay their water bill. Now this has been thrown in the lap of the new board at Southern Water. They've got a new board. They have new management. They're trying to do the right things. Just give them a little time. I honestly believe that they were in a hearing all day today in Frankfurt trying to answer some of the questions about what happened in the past and how they got themselves in this situation and what they can do going forward and get a clear picture. The Public Service Commission trying to get a clear picture how we keep this from happening again to these water districts. And it comes down to politics and water, and they just don't go together. They don't go together. So my suggestions, folks, is work with Southern Water. You've got a good board in place. You have good management in place. I really think they're going to get things turned around, and hopefully they can get the meters. They're requiring them to put new meters in, it's my understanding. And the meters will give the accurate readings on the water. But what's happened is when those folks came in up there were 700 meters that were not even reading or was reading zero. And it goes back to what you all was talking about. You have folks that they don't pay water bills. They'll have one water tap and they'll have 8 trailers and things of that nature. So they're trying to rectify these issues and just give them a little time. I wish that there was something that we could do as a fiscal court. And when we are in contact with the Public Service Commission, and we've asked for them to look at alternative ways to do the billing that it doesn't impact the elderly and the folks on fixed income as much, because the vast majority of the folks on Southern Water are on a fixed income. All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Ronnie, come up and see us then.
I'll be there. Checkbook ready.
All right, I have a couple things that I would like to first. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up. Got one more. What's your name, sir?
Right, Justice. Public Street. I was here about the water bill too. It's high, I'm ready. $69.62.
Yeah.
Use 1,000. What's on the bill? It's still, that's water bill.
Yeah.
Fixed rate, really?
Yeah. They tell me they're on a fixed rate now, 58 and some.
Well, that's what this is. It's 58, that's 62, and then 11 for garbage.
Yeah, and they add the garbage to it. Yes, yeah. Which now, I don't want to get into the Southern Water. I mean, the board, we appoint the board, but they run the day-to-day operations. Once that board is appointed, We absolutely have no say-so in what they do and how they run it. They're doing the best they can. Listen, at the end of the day, this was thrown in this new board's lap. It was years of mismanagement, and it has caught up. It has caught up with Southern Water. And I'll tell you, if the Southern had continued down the path they were going, we would have simply been picking up the pieces right now. There would have been nothing left in 6 months. When this board took over, they were $200,000 in arrears on their utility bills, on their insurance, on their payroll taxes when they stepped in. That's why they had to come to the fiscal court and get money to make payroll and to keep the water flowing to people's house. It was that dire. But there's a lot of folks that bear a lot of responsibility. This one person, there's a lot of folks that bear responsibility for what happened here. And listen, I understand. My mom and dad are on a fixed income, and you take an extra $25, $30 a month out of their you're having to make some tough decisions. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. Look, I wish that we had an answer, that I could, there was something that I could do to make it go away, but this is years in the making, and now we're having to pay the piper. It's not easy. When I look at the folks who are getting harmed the most, that's the taxpayers, folks who are on a fixed income, people out here not living paycheck to paycheck, you're living day to day. People are living day to day. And, like I said, I have been in contact with the Public Service Commission about trying to find an alternative way to do the billing. I haven't heard back. They had the board down there today. They had some hearings today, and hopefully I get an opportunity. I can get on the internet and take a look at that in the next day or so and see if there was any good information that came out of that may be useful. And if there is, we'll certainly try to get that information out to the public. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate you coming out. I really do. Yeah. All right, let's move on. We got new business. Anyone else before we move on? Okay. One thing I wanted to discuss, I think I ran this by Ronnie. We've got a gentleman, Estel Yates. He's wanting to lease a piece of property up across from the highway garage. A little small track.
County garage,
Or, excuse me, the county garage up in Mare Creek. It's just a little slither of property. David?
Is that the same property they had the food pantry at?
We leased a piece for somebody, it's on the other side of the creek or something.
Correct. This is right across the road, Keith.
The Fiscal Court leased a piece of property, to the people who ran the food pantry there, which was across from
Right here.
the county garage.
Yeah, they leased, he owns this adjoining tract. He's wanting the road to.
That's actually above the county garage, so it's not the same property.
Yeah. It's the same parcel, but it's different section of it.
Okay.
The road
It's the
divides.
same land, so we can't lease
No,
it twice.
it's on opposite sides of the road.
Oh, is it?
Oh, okay.
We'd have to declare it.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, okay.
obviously, if they vote to do it, we can lease it, if it's not already leased, and if we opt it out. If I remember right, there was a lease that was not only across from the garage, but also access behind the garage, because they were having a traffic issue.
Maybe, I don't know.
Don't they, we give them a key so they can get on a lot and swing around when they get.
Well, that's what that new road was built for. They're gonna line up around that new road.
Okay.
instead of having to get into the garage. This piece that's in question is above the county garage toward Pike County. There's a lease on the right side of the road to Amos Smith.
Amos Smith.
This is on the left side of the road. It adjoins his property on the it's all, I guess it's all the same track, but it's two different sides of the road. One's on one side, one's on the other.
Mr. Yates is wanting us to entertain an option on the property. 1 year he would maintain the property. I guess, is it hillside, Dale?
It's hillside.
It's just it's just a
hillside
small
property.
slither of hillside.
Yep.
It's not anything, it's of any value to us. I really don't see a reason to surplus and go that route.
What is the purpose for which he's looking for lease?
He just owns the adjoining property around it.
Putting cattle or something?
Road, I think it's hillside. There's a road going up through that particular track up to his. So it really and it may just be an easement situation. At least with an easement situation.
He is having to cross our property to get to his. It's basically the easement.
Can we just, Keith, give him permission for a road, 12-foot?
Well, when they say easement, that's exactly what that is.
So can we, instead of actually having to lease the property, can we just give him a?
There is a difference. Obviously, an easement would give him access to use that road if that's what you choose to do.
Okay, so y'all okay if we discuss an easement or lease? Okay.
Whatever the court wants to do, I mean, it's.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to discuss it before I meet with Mr. Yates. He's been by a couple times, and I certainly don't want to keep putting him off.
Just let Keith check into all the legality.
Secondly, I wanted to explore the option of getting two new excavators also for District 1 and District 2. We need to surplus some of this old equipment we got. Like I stated before, to me, the only thing worse than having guys out here working and don't have equipment to work with is paying guys to sit around with, and you just don't have equipment. So we need to get a couple more pieces. This equipment keeps breaking down. We're leasing. We're scrambling, moving equipment from district to district, and it's just not being not working out in their best interest. These guys, if they have to spend half a day moving a piece of equipment, so are we okay? I just want to see if it was okay if we entertain the option of accepting some bids.
Well, if it's on the state bid price contract, you wouldn't have to, if you want to use it.
Well,
He's not up buying it to myself.
we're going to do both. We're going to do both. We're actually going to sell some of our surplus, some of our older equipment.
We'll just give the Fiscal Court give permission to the road foreman to gather up the surplus list, and then our next court meeting will surplus.
That's what we like to do, is get a list, a surplus. Let's take the funds on what we sold. We use those funds for a down payment to try to get two new excavators. 2 good used excavators or 2 new excavators. We'll explore those options as well, Dale. Okay? We okay with that?
Motion to get a list together for surplus property, or equipment.
Second.
We need to call roll on that, Chris, or is that just?
I'll make up a resolution.
You make a resolution on that? Okay. You can call roll, Chris, please.
Commissioner Mark Crider? Yes. Commissioner George Easley?
Yes.
Commissioner Mike Tackett?
Yeah.
Commissioner Ronnie Akers?
So what are we gonna do about the purchase then? Are we gonna wait till we have the sale, or are we gonna go ahead and, if we don't have?
No, we can go ahead and get the information on on both. We can start doing putting the surplus information together for what we're going to sell, and we can be getting information on what we're going to purchase also. This isn't something that's going to happen in a week. Time we put out what we're the particulars on the equipment we're looking for, it normally takes 4 to 6 weeks to round the equipment up.
Do we need a motion for you to advertise to bid 2 new excavators? That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what we was making the motion for, was to do that and to look into surplus also.
We'll add the same resolution.
Yeah, we'll add that to the same resolution. Yeah, that's what it was for, to do the surplus. All right, let's see, resolution 1, transfers.
But you're not gonna surplus that, the smaller one that yours is using now over District Two?
I don't think we will. I'd like to keep that and use it for litter abatement if we could, Ron.
You all have to make it get back.
Yeah, yeah.
Just basically the oldies and twos, the ones that broke down with the bad pumps, they gotta go.
The two Komatsus and the Kubota.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first one we got is the first one the county ever bought, it's 20+ years old.
Yeah.
We'll get you another.
Yeah. It all has to be, we have to vote on what we surplus. I mean, this is, I'm just saying, let's get the list together, what we want to surplus, and let's start exploring the option of trying to get a couple more machines. And what we probably need to do is sit down and see what we need to put on the surplus list. Because some of this equipment, folks, we're spending more money repairing it than it's worth. Okay.
Robbie, I think we ought to try to look at maybe bring it to Allen Park, that big lot down there, and advertise it where this stuff is at, let people see it operate and stuff, to get our best bids out there, really.
That's right, that's right.
advertise
I agree.
all we can out of it.
Absolutely, because that's money we can use to roll over into a new piece of equipment.
Could be, through used excavators and old trucks and other equipment we got, it could be a third of what
Yeah.
total is gonna take to buy two machines.
We'll do that. All right, thank you, Mark. All right, transfers. Get a motion?
Motion.
All right. We'll call roll, Chris.
Mayor Smith North Crowder.
Four.
Mayor Smith George Beasley.
Yes.
Mayor Smith Mike Tackett.
Yeah.
Mayor Smith Ronnie Acorn.
Claims list.
Motion.
Second.
Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Mayor Smith Mark Crowder.
Four.
Mayor Smith George Beasley.
Yes.
Mayor Smith Mike Tackett.
Yeah.
Mayor Smith Ronnie Acorn.
Any questions on the claims list, guys? No questions? Next, we have the Mountain Comp Care Grant pass-through. Get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Mayor Smith Mark Crowder.
Yes.
Mayor Smith George Beasley.
Yes.
Mayor Smith Mike Tackett.
Yeah.
Mayor Smith Ronnie Acorn.
Let's see, next we have Resolution 4, the commissary annual settlement.
Motion.
Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Mayor Smith Mark Crowder.
Four.
Mayor Smith George Beasley.
Yes.
Mayor Smith Mike Tackett.
Yeah.
Mayor Smith Ronnie Acorn.
And Resolution 5, reappointment of the county treasurer. Well, better think about this. We get a second?
Second.
All right, Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Mayor Smith Mark Crowder.
Four.
Mayor Smith George Beasley.
Yes.
Mayor Smith Mike Tackett.
Yeah.
Mayor Smith Ronnie Acorn.
Dave, they all know who signs the checks.
We need to do the oath too, sir.
Oh, that's right, yeah. We want to go ahead and do the oath now? Then we'll go ahead and administer the oath for the treasurer.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you got him under oath, I got a couple questions.
We're not prosecutor. Prosecutor. All right. Raise your right hand, sir. You just want to affirm after I read. I do solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as I continue a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of, according to the office of treasurer, according to law. And I do further solemnly swear or affirm that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with a deadly weapon within this state, nor outward, nor have I sent or accepted the challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person who thus offended, so help me God.
The Pater Creek Food Bank.
All right, next we have jail employee. Get a motion on that? Motion. Got a second?
Second.
Yeah. Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Master Mark Crider? For. Master George Easley?
Yes.
Master Mike Taggett?
Yeah.
Master Ronnie Yeager?
Next is the resolution to sign the documents for the flex funds and discretionary funds. Hopefully, we will get some discretionary funds. That's what Mr. Tom was here about tonight. I've got a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Master Mark Crider? For. Master George Easley?
Yes.
Master Mike Taggett?
Yeah.
Master Ronnie Yeager?
And next we have the appointments for the tourism board.
Motion.
Second.
Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Master Mark Crider? For. Master George Easley?
Yes.
Master Mike Taggett?
Yeah.
Master Ronnie Yeager?
Next is Resolution 9. This is for the County Board of Assessments.
Motion.
Second. Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Master Mark Crider? For. Master George Easley?
Yes.
Master Mike Taggett?
Yeah.
Master Ronnie Yeager?
Next is Resolution 10. This is the advertisement for the floor for the community center.
Motion.
Second. Chris, you want to call roll, please?
Master Mark Crider? For. Master George Easley?
Yes.
Master Mike Taggett?
Yeah.
Master Ronnie Yeager?
And next we have Resolution 11. David, we had to add this one. This is on the roads. We have two projects that we need to get out for bid. Let's see. This is the slip that we had in Tinker Fork, the one that I was talking to Matt Moore about. It just happened. We think that we need to go ahead and get on this one as soon as possible. If we don't, we're going to run into a situation that if we have a problem in Branham's Creek and the road in Tinker Fork is now down to what, 6 feet?
About 6.5 feet.
And if it washes out any further, they're stuck. Okay. So this is a resolution to accept bids for this project and also for the Plumbers Branch project. Second. All right.
Judge, I want to add something to that, if we can, is, we need a hammer. I mean, it is, if we go in there, we went up today, me and Dale, and we could, while we're waiting on the bids for the drill steel, we can chip some of the cliff rock off and slide the road over maybe 6 feet.
Yeah.
And that will.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. That way we can keep the.
He don't have to add that to it, he can go ahead and do it.
Well,
Dale, you want the hammer on our machine?
No, I think, just get a contractor in there and do it, because by the time we order a hammer, wait for a hammer, get it plumbed, we can be done.
We'd have
Yeah.
but now it's gonna.
So, but now this resolution is for us to solicit bids, to actually just advertise them in the papers, what this is for.
Right.
Ronnie, what we probably want to do, because Dale, is the project in Tinker Fork, is that going to be a FEMA
Yes.
project? It is.
a FEMA project on this year's disaster, but at the rate they're writing up projects, we're gonna be December. I mean, and it's not gonna wait.
Well, let me ask you a question. If we go ahead and we take a hammer up there and we work on that road and we spend, I don't know, $10,000. I'm choosing a round number. Then we turn around, we get a contractor to complete the work after that. Are we going to get reimbursed for that $10,000 or
As long as they consider it reasonable, we got a meeting Thursday with them, we can even talk to them about it.
Okay, I just didn't know because we was going to be splitting between the county and the contractor because we will have to get a contractor to come in because it's a steel project.
It's dropped how much, Dale, since the initial?
Oh, it's dropped probably 10 feet, 12 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably lost at least 4 more feet of blacktop since the initial
Okay.
assessment.
So Tim, you don't think that will be an issue if we do?
We can always split with a contractor.
Okay. I just didn't know if we went ahead and tried to complete that reasonable amount of work to keep the road open, and then we moved on to the contract.
Really and truly, if we don't chip it out a little bit and slide that road over, it needs to be closed until it's drilled and that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not wide, it's not
What's
safe.
in pass?
Well,
It-
there's
it's-
no emergency, there's no room to work there now, right now.
Absolutely, no.
So.
No, even for the drill, even for the drill, yeah.
Without nothing, so I'll screw it.
And then if the state comes in and repairs those two drains on Brown Street, you're gonna get a lot of traffic that you was talking to Matt about there earlier.
Yeah.
Coming across that way, cause that'll be the only in and out.
Yeah, and that's what's concerning me about coordinating the two projects, because there's a lot of folks live up there and use those roads. So we need to coordinate those.
Temporary repair work, and we'll just bill that directly to the FEMA.
Okay, if you can, just check.
It'll be a while before we get the money, but we will.
Okay, yeah, just maybe, Tim, when you talk to him, just ask him.
We got a meeting with
And the
them.
Okay.
reason for the hammer is the amount of time it takes to get that drill contractor there. I mean, we've got one that's been out for bid since the second or third week of May, and it's yet to be drilled.
Okay,
They keep telling me, they assure me every Monday when I call them, it's gonna be drilled before school starts. But, you know what, that's winding down.
well, I think, and that's what we was expecting plumbers for also, and then we went and had folks to go up and give us some estimates on the plumbers for a job. It was less than 20,000. We found out today it's actually 2 rows of steel. So now we're having to scramble and to try to get this done before school starts. And that road up there is very dangerous. If it breaks off, I mean, it's it's a 100-foot fall. So we're going to get that addressed.
Can we use, if one contractor can't get to it, it's real busy or whatever, can we go to another? No, I don't know about drills.
Well, we can. I mean, here's the thing. As long as we go through the bid process and that contractor doesn't, at that point, live up to his obligation, we can move on to the next bid.
Can we put a time frame on that?
Yes.
Say, we need it done in the next 20 days or next 30 days.
Well, guys, here's the problem that we run into. We don't have a plethora of individuals to go out here that can do these projects.
We have 3.
We have three, and they're busy. So Thornsbury, you might have to fire your drill back up and start putting some steel back in. But that's a problem we're running into. I mean, we're short-handed on folks who can drill. We have 3 people, and they're all busy right now. But it'd be nice to put a time frame on it, but who do we go to? Who do we go to? We're basically at their mercy. All right. So did we get a motion to go ahead? Okay. Okay. So we're good. Did you call roll? All right. Thank you, Chris.
Mark Crowder. For. Master George Usley.
Yes.
Master Mike Taggart. Master Ronnie Evans.
And motion for adjournment.
Robbie?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Good update on what where we're at in your District 1.
Sure.
Even though with the equipment, we've had breakdowns, I'd like to recognize the guys in District 1 for all their hard work. As of now, we've got 100% of county roads in District 1 cut. 75% has been sprayed, so we may not need the bush hog anymore the rest of the year, so that'd be great. We got 50% of the ditches full, the culverts maintained. As of today, we've got 950 ton of blacktop on the ground. So far, that's some research.
And that's just in your district.
Not a whole patch, and
That's
that's just in District 1. And, we're cutting these right of ways on these roads. If you go up that Fork Avenue, Big Branch, and we've cut them back really wide. You pull a 16-foot wide house trailer up, we will never touch them. So I think when school buses and stuff start traveling again, I think they'll appreciate it. And, these guys are, they're working hard to, keep these roads in good shape, safe for everybody to travel.
The spraying program's been a hit. That's really saved us a lot. I mean, folks, we're not saving a lot. We are saving quite a bit of money, but what it's doing is it's freeing our men up. The spraying program, that we're not having to designate 2 guys from each district to run a bush hog all summer long. That's freeing those guys up to go out here and work and do other things. So the spraying program has really helped us tremendously. And I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, Mark, and helping us with that.
Well, thank you for making it possible for us to start doing this program. So,
Any of you other magistrates got anything you want to add?
He doesn't, need that steel draw.
I'm with you. All right, we got a motion for the adjournment? Mark, make it, all right. Thank you all. Appreciate you coming out.